Mark Springer, another day, another Avalanche win on a day in which the Ball Arena faithful was littered with bright orange and blue as the Denver Broncos dispatched the Kansas City Chiefs just a couple of hours before the Avs and Islanders take off. No, it was not Islanders orange, it was Broncos orange in the lower bowl that you guys saw on the altitude stream tonight. 4-1 is the final between the Avs and the Islanders, coming off of that Broncos win against the Kansas City Chiefs. And while this one didn't start great, it was a kicked in goal that was allowed, not disallowed. The Avs just continued to win hockey games. There's not much to write about on this one. It was kind of boring, but I suppose that's what you do now when you're the Avs. You win games, and sometimes it's not going to be a fun product to watch because you just kind of choke everyone out.
Yeah, best team in the NHL. Lots of bests going on in Denver right now. Holy shit. I mean, what a time to be alive and to live here, to be from here. My goodness, Raj. But let's okay, so I just before I jumped on with you, I still had my Altitude Plus stream on, and believe it was Reed Saunders announcing the 3 stars of the game, because I heard Alan Roach's beautiful pipes while I was watching Vikings Bears today, because he does the Vikings home games because he's from there and they paid him a lot of money. But 3 stars, you know what? Hey, now tonight, Scott Wedgwood, yes, you are 100% the first star of the game. And yes,
Not even close.
You and technically, based on numbers, should have been against Anaheim as well, but Gabe Landeskog got a game-winning goal, and it was first goal in 3 years. So, should have been Landy that night. But tonight, yeah, Scott Wedgwood was incredible. He was the best player tonight. Some of the saves he made, I mean, the one late on the power play, that really won them the game on the Islanders power play, but it was so many throughout the night. His best was that push to his right post, to his right on a Kyle Palmieri one-timer. He had a couple on Palmieri tonight, but that push to get high and save that shot, and he sold out, but he was great all night. Had a nice, I mean, they showed the replays of his saves all night long. Matthew Schaefer, saw him tonight. I'll say that, and Wedgwood had a good blocker save on a Schaefer shot. I think he had another good save on Schaefer in the slot as well. Look, that kid's good. He's part of the reason that the Islanders, and let me pull up their schedule here, because they just went into Utah and won in overtime on the second night of a back-to-back. They won in Vegas in overtime the night before. They did have a couple days off before that. They won in New Jersey in overtime before they started this 5-game road trip in New York. Now, winning in Madison Square Garden is actually not that hard. A lot of teams have done it this year, even though the Rangers are pretty solid. But the Islanders opened their road trip winning in New York 5-0. So that's a win in New York, win in New Jersey, win in Vegas. Next night, win in Utah. And look, now it's altitude. Now you just played second night of a back-to-back in Utah. You'd won 4 in a row. Now you got to play another game in altitude. Actually, this road trip continues for them. This is a 7-game road trip. They'll go to Dallas on Tuesday night. But the first 4 games of this 7-game road trip, 4-0 for the Islanders. And Matthew Schaefer is a huge reason why. Like, adding him as the first overall pick, I think, has given them some life. But it was too much. Like, you're on a road trip. Now you're playing the best team in hockey in their building after playing a back-to-back. They got a night off, but it was still a back-to-back. You're still at altitude. This was what was supposed to happen tonight.
It was supposed to be a 4-1 final. It was supposed to be one of those games that you kind of looked at and you go, if I were to ask you about this game when the playoffs roll around, right? When it's the middle of April, I go, hey, you remember the Islanders game? What I would expect most of you to go is, no, I don't remember the Islanders game. But Scott Wedgwood, as you astutely pointed out, he gives you a reason to remember this. The 2 saves that he makes on Kyle Palmieri tonight. Kyle Palmieri has to be seeing nightmares of Scott Wedgwood this evening. Scott Wedgwood is to Kyle Palmieri as Jaquan McMillan is to Patrick Mahomes today. They are Freddy Krueger. The short side save that he makes in the first power play, blocker, he's making that crazy acrobatic save. He's so athletic, and that's the thing that he brings to the crease that like Blackwood necessarily doesn't. He is able to make those, and maybe this is a little blasphemous to say he's able to make those like Hasek-esque saves. And Blackwood isn't that goaltender. Blackwood is the talk about blasphemy. Blackwood is more so the Carey Price. I am going to be perfectly in position every single time, concise movements, big bodied guy. And he just has this perfect foil as his backup. And Wedgwood's not taking any steps back. He's allowing this decision that Jared Bednar is making, likely with a heavy heart. It's making it easy on Jared Bednar to just go, I'm going to continue to throw you in there, because it's not like you beat the Islanders and the Islanders were the worst team in the league. They weren't last year. They were very bad, but they were not the worst team. They just won the lottery and you get to choose Matthew Schaefer. It's not like you beat a bad team and you only saw 16 shots against. Wedgwood made like 7 grade A opportunities, and that save that he makes on Palmieri in the second period, it immediately leads to an Avalanche goal. And then another Avalanche goal. And instead of being down 2-0 at that point, they then flip that into 1-1 and 2-1 in the next 3.5 minutes. He's the catalyst.
I wasn't even thinking about this while I was watching his great performance tonight, but as we're talking about him right now, I'm reminded, I can't believe he signed for $2.5 million on a 1-year extension. I mean, he left money on the table. You cannot tell me otherwise. And had he, quote unquote, bet on himself, well, the bet would have paid off even further tonight. Every good start he has, the money would have gone up on the open market. The years potentially would have increased. Just the security, the financial security would have increased overall. But you know what? He's a great dude. He likes to be here. He knows that this is the best team in the league, and good on you. And hey, man, I fully expect him right now. And I know that Blackwood is trending towards, injury recovery. He's getting his game about him. I mean, I don't know when Blackwood's true opportunity comes, though, at this rate. Wedgwood starting on Thursday night against the Rangers. And what do you like? Are we at the point where even if he has a bad start, he's still the one? Or is that what opens Blackwood's opportunity up because he will, every goaltender eventually doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to have a bad start eventually.
It has to be a couple. It's at the point where he has earned the right to go, that was a fluke. You give me another. You throw
because
me
every goaltender
bone.
is going to have a fluke like that.
He 100% has earned the right to go, show me it's a trend before we go all the way back to Blackwood. And that's okay. Again, I think that goaltending room is so solid, and it's largely because of who Scott Wedgwood is as a person. He is one of the glue guys in that room. While he's not Parker Kelly, who's the dude on the aux cord, he is the next best thing. Yeah, he could go out and have a really bad game and the Avs win, and then he could follow it up with a really bad game, and he's the reason why the Avs lose. And then I think Bednar can go, all right, this was fun. You gave us 20
Well, what if the first one is really
games.
bad game and the Avs lose because a win glosses over some things? A win puts a shiny coat on a turd, right? But what if it's his next start is bad and they lose? Is the trigger quick where now all of a sudden McKenzie gets his shot? Like then Blackwood gets the next start and he has a good start. Is it all of a sudden McKenzie's job again, just like that?
I mean, there's something to be said for being the starter and being paid like the starter.
And that's what Blackwood is. And he's also in the prime of his career age-wise.
Right. And sometimes goaltenders And this happens everywhere in sports, whether it's goaltenders, starting pitchers, a shortstop goes out and someone starts to get hot, and you kind of go, well, I mean, if it's unless it's like a highly paid shortstop, then he comes immediately back in. But if you're a younger guy in the league, you might lose out on a couple of weeks of play because someone is hitting at a 345 clip over 2 weeks. Um, I don't think it's a quick hook. However, the fact that Dallas just continues to win, it makes it it makes it prudent to continue to gain points. So you can't just sit there and go, well, we've lost 2 in a row with you, Edgy, and you haven't been good. Here's a third, because Dallas ain't losing right now. And as good as you've been, the Stars are just 4 points back.
But
So
right now he's showing no signs of slowing down.
no, he's not.
And I feel like we're at the point where he's the 1A at the very least. And I fully expect him to start on Thursday against the Rangers to close out this homestand. Speaking of goaltending, look, how about that save from Ilya Sorokin on Ross Colton? Ross almost had his second of the game. Ross ties this game at 1. I mean, great outlet, and that's the difference. Look, Matthew Schaefer, that pass from Cale Makar,
He doesn't have it yet.
That's the well-roundedness. That's everything. And what a pass from Cale Makar. Ross, great wrist shot. Ross can do that. He seems like he is back to pre-broken foot Ross for sure, playing on the second line.
Dude, it's all because they switched up those lines. Nelson, Colton, and Brindley is wonderful together.
Well, and then Brindley's up there because Nichushkin's out. And Ross was playing well with Nichushkin. But Brindley's, that was the right move. That was the right touch. And you got a second line wing making under $1 million, and he's playing like a second line wing. How about that? But then Ross almost has a second goal. Brock Nelson, who ultimately does get a goal this time, is winding down in this game against his former team. But Brock's pounding away. Ross comes in. That's a heck of a save by Ilya Sorokin to stretch out with his glove. And that was the close your eyes, look what I found type thing. But still, that was a heck of a save.
Yeah,
so good
great
goaltending
save
on display all over the place tonight.
Yeah, I thought Sorokin was as billed. Sorokin, for my money, is a top 7 goalie in the world. I love watching that dude play hockey. There's a reason why he has a Vezina trophy to his name so far, but the second line has been great. I thought you saw some flashes out of Cale Makar this evening, a couple of solo rushes up the short side that I've been wanting to see a little bit more. Power play left a little bit to be desired, but still moved the puck well. It just felt like one of those games that you just had to slog it out, and if you got a 2-goal lead, it was going to be over. Obviously, you get 2 empty netters at the end there, and you don't have to worry about playing something so tight after you kill off the. Let's go to the Marty Necas penalty. Dumb penalty. Like, there's no reason for you to try and go short side, way high flip when the entire far side of the rink was open. That was a panic play from Necas.
Yeah, I mean, it's an aggressive play. And I like it when they play aggressive, not playing to not lose. That's hurt the Avs in the past when they play to not lose. So still forcing the issue, still trying to push the puck up the ice. Unfortunately, the kill was good. You don't have Nichushkin, but Brock Nelson he's really gotten more PK time, it feels like, since Nichushkin's been out. And he played there since, and he was good. I mean, Drury and Kelly are an excellent penalty kill tandem, and obviously Lehkonen. And then I thought there were moments where Bardakov looked good. He's getting that look now. Zakhar Bardakov is getting that look on the PK since there's an extra slot for time available now that Nichushkin is out.
Well, he's going to need that too. I saw that Evan Rowell of the Gazette was looking at some interviews that he did with a Russian
I brought this up before you jumped on and he was talking about ice time.
Yeah, he's not thrilled about it, but like, also, welcome to playing on the best team in the National Hockey League.
Exactly.
You're not going to step in and get 14 minutes on this team, dude. Like,
yeah,
wake the fuck up.
Yeah. I appreciate his.
Don't get me wrong.
Like
I appreciate.
yeah, but there's also like, hey man, what I said is like, you should just be happy to be here. You really
No
should be.
doubt. No doubt. Thank your lucky stars you're here. Look at what it did to your buddy Val Nichushkin's career to come to Colorado on a diamond in the rough waiver wire pickup. Look at what it did to Val Nichushkin. Look at all the money that it put in Val Nichushkin's pocket and the ring that it put on his finger, and then eventually the 2 suspensions. But we won't talk about those things. Also, I just assumed that the Nelson goal was an empty netter. I finally watched it. Like when the Avs scored their empty netter, I went down into my studio and just started setting this
Yeah,
whole
I
thing
did the
up.
thing
And
where I
realized
was
it
getting ready
4-1.
too, but I just so happened to be able to see it on my
It's a
laptop.
tip.
And yes, it was a tip
It's
shot
an actual
from
tip with a goaltender in the net.
yes, they put Sorokin back in. So no
Um,
cheap goal for Brock Nelson tonight.
It's not to say that I don't think Bardakov is a really good fit. I like him. I think he's got a good future, and I think he's a perfect bottom 6 player that's going to be cheap for you, hopefully, moving forward. If he's worried about minutes, that's a great way to kind of appease him. Is like, hey, here's 30 seconds. Here's another 50 seconds a night on PK. You're not going to be my first unit, but you could be my third forward out there 3
Hey, if
times
you
a
want to go
night for
play
20
for the
seconds.
Calgary Flames and get 12 minutes a night, be my guest.
Yeah, you
And,
want to be Jeremy Grant on the who did he go to? Jeremy Grant.
Detroit.
Yeah, you want to be Jeremy Grant on the Pistons? Be my guest.
Yeah, and I get it. And hey, who knows? Look, Ben in the chat says LOC is coming soon, and we got an update on Yoel Kiviranta today. The timeline was originally 6 to 8 weeks, but kind of the verbiage and the vibe, the way he's been talked about, made it feel like it could be a while. But apparently, he was skating today, non-contact. We're at about the 4-week mark, so it doesn't seem like he's coming back in the next week or anything like that. But it does seem like Kiviranta could be back in a few weeks, and O'Connor could be back in a couple weeks. And look, for whoever's back first, probably O'Connor, Taylor McCarr, or whoever that courtesy, final forward is. And right now it's Taylor McCarr.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 20
got
seconds.
3:21 tonight. Laid 2 hits. Didn't really notice him out there at all tonight.
Jared Bednar is probably not thrilled that he has 2 of his 12 forwards right now combining for 9.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not because they're bad players. It's because he doesn't trust them. And honestly, like I'm not giving Taylor McCarr 12 minutes. I'm not giving Jakar Bardakov 12 minutes right now. You know who gets 12 minutes in my book? Logan O'Connor. You know who
100%. And that's part of the reason why Parker Kelly only plays 854. They can mix Parker Kelly in a little bit with a third line group, but and Parker Kelly is a guy he trusts, but right now he doesn't have 2. And this is no knock on either of them, NHL line mates. So as soon as, Connor's back, then McCarr or whomever is out. And then as soon as Kiviranta is back, and hell, Nichushkin, who it doesn't seem overly serious with Nichushkin, the way that they talked about it. It seems like maybe just 2-3 weeks, at least the way they've talked about it. So, I mean, hey, maybe Bardakov is part of, it's probably good for you. You want minutes? You can go play with the Eagles and you can really develop your game there, or you're part of a package to go somewhere else. But either way, there's your little update on Yoel Kiviranta.
I'll be interested to see an update over the next 2 days on Josh Manson's hand. I didn't love how that happened, where Anders Lee comes from behind him and instigates a fight. Now, Manson gets a couple of good quick punches, including one big uppercut, but it was this weird tumble over each other, like Lee toe picked or something like that. It wasn't dirty for Anders Lee whatsoever, but it was this weird roll where I got very nervous that, like, that's how you break a wrist. That is how you break a hand or a couple of fingers or pop a thumb. And it was very clear that when he went to the box, they immediately put ice on it. Now he returned to play and continued, but these are the type of things that can flare up the next day. So I'm a little bit nervous to see what happens there with Manson.
Yeah, that was an interesting sequence. So Brent Burns just throws Emil Heineman, who scored the lone.
Manhandled Emil Heineman.
I mean, dude, he just suplexed him.
that was
Is that
hilarious.
Are you allowed to just throw a dude down like that?
Kind of, I guess, in certain situations. I don't know.
I mean, it was kind of like a pseudo hit in a way. Like the puck was right there.
Yeah, like you can do that. Like you can open hand shove someone. It just so happened that he shoved him through the crust of the earth.
And then Anders Lee is coming towards the play, but Josh Manson is right behind him. And it's not really a cross check as more as it is just another shove, not as ferocious as the burn shove, but it is kind of from behind. But Lee he wasn't right near the boards, and he kind of just tumbles over Heineman, who's down. Like he just trips over Heineman via the shove from Manson. I wonder what that would have looked like had there not been a lot of bodies there, but obviously Anders Lee took exception to that. There was an element of a boarding type hit, but it's so tough to say given the traffic in that area, and it really is Lee just kind of tumbling over his own teammate. And I'm sure Anders Lee is their captain. He's been their captain for a while. This game has gotten away from them, and he just saw his dude get thrown down by Brent Burns, and he just takes a hit from behind. So he's upset. I respect it. Hey, take it upon yourself, especially as the captain and someone, who can fight. Anders Lee can. He just goes and takes it up with Josh Manson himself. He does eat a wicked uppercut, though. That uppercut was fist to chin. You can get concussed with something like that.
So I wonder if the hurt hand is from the uppercut or if it's from the gator roll.
Yeah, it could be. And you're right, because then Lee goes down and he takes Manson with him, and there is an awkward roll. Yes. So I don't know what it was.
I mean, it certainly wasn't as big a fight as we saw in the NHL tonight. Did you see not only the color matchup between the Rangers and the Red Wings this evening, both of them playing in their Centennial Heritage uniforms? It was a beautiful jersey matchup, in my opinion. I mean, people who are colorblind probably don't love it, but I can see colors, therefore it was awesome. It was a 2-1 win for the Rangers, and Mason Appleton, after the horn blew, shot a puck into the empty net and then threw his hands up and kind of celebrated. And it was after the horn. The benches completely emptied. Jonathan Quick, at nearly 40 years old, was in there throwing punches. We had a Donnybrook.
Wow. I did not. I mean, I was scoreboard watching this game, saw that the Wings won 2-1. I was rooting for no empty net goal for personal reasons, and apparently one was scored just after the horn. Okay. Wow.
They had Mark Springer's best interests in mind. Speaking of goals that didn't count or should not have counted, let's go all the way back to the first one that was scored.
Yeah, because I brought up Heineman. I was going to ask you.
The Emil Heineman goal that is scored on the first shot of the game against the Avs and Scott Wedgwood, or second shot of the game. I was pretty sure this thing should have been called no goal on the ice. And then when they went to review, I was expecting those referees to come out and wave that thing off. That looked pretty kicky to me, Spring. Like, you're allowed to redirect the puck off your skate, and you can move your skate a little bit to, like, change the angle. But Heineman changes the angle of his skate while moving his skate toward the net. And for me, that is a propelling motion that was awfully kicky. I was kind of upset that they called it off. Or they didn't call it off.
Yeah. So call on the ice was goal. They review it. You have to have, irrefutable evidence. But Lord knows with some of these NHL reviews. So watching it live, I thought it was a redirect, but it happened so quick. Then you see the replay, and yes, now it has to be a distinct kicking motion. It was, look, if I'm being honest, it was a kick. Like if you make me swear under a court of law, what was that? Hand to God, that was a kick.
That was a kick. Now I'm very much in the camp of let people kick pucks into nets. Like I think it's ridiculous that you can't kick one in. I think it's crazy that you can't headbutt a puck into the net. Now I understand that the rule is for player safety and they don't want people kicking, kicking at goaltenders' wrists essentially. Like
Yeah,
if
the
they
skate
see,
could get up there, and I got a dangerous blade up high.
I understand that. I think it would take a lot of the guesswork out of like, oh, did he kick it or did he redirect it? Because then you can just kind of score.
Yeah, so that's where like there is a slight shade of gray here. Like it was funny watching the first intermission. Keefe and Lyles were talking about it. If you're from an Avs perspective, Keefe was playing good cop, as he would because he's Kyle Keefe. And Lyles was playing quote unquote, I'll say it for the second time in this show, quote unquote, bad cop. Was it a like Lyles is saying, because look, the league looks at it, and so you could argue. Now, I don't think Lyles believed a damn word he said. I think he was trying to give the league the benefit of the doubt. Was it more of a, and now this isn't how he described it, but I'll say, was it more of a push? Was it less of a kick and more of a push? Is there a difference
it was more of
between
a
the
push.
kick and the push? There's actually a Lupe Fiasco song, Kick Push.
Great song.
Like you're skateboarding.
Great album.
Dude, that song is awesome. Was it a kick or was it a push? And is there a difference? Nonetheless, it was irrelevant in the outcome of tonight's game.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
It's a call that I didn't necessarily agree with. I can understand the camp that goes,
let's say if that was a determining factor in tonight's game, then that's an issue. That would have been an issue because, as I said, if you made me say, like if you said, dude, you've got to be 100% honest here. What was it? I would say, that's a kick.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think for me was the puck purposely propelled toward the net by your foot? Not redirected, propelled.
Sure.
And in that situation, not only did Heineman change the angle of his skate, which you're allowed to do, the movement of the skate toward the net, propelling the puck toward the net, for me, makes it a kick.
Even
if he didn't have that, if he had just redirected it and the foot wasn't actively moving toward the net, and I understand it's tough, you're on ice, even though you're stopping, you're gliding, so who knows what is a glide and what's a physical propel of the foot forward. Like it's so confusing, which is why, again, just let guys kick the fucking puck in the net. Then we don't have to wait 20 minutes talking about this.
And they put a McGahee tweet on the broadcast. Connor said, I played soccer. I know what a kick is. That was a kick. And in like you see this, like it's like a one-time play, whether it's a shot or even a pass, a one-time shot or pass in soccer, they will redirect the ball with even just the slightest of kicks. That is still a kick. Even though it is of the slightest variety, it is still a kick nonetheless.
I see a lot of people going, hey, like, why didn't Bednar challenge it? The puck the goal rather, was already being reviewed by the league. So the review that would have been set in motion by a challenge was already being reviewed.
Yeah.
So there was no reason when they come back and they point good goal on the ice for Bednar to then go, well, I'm going to challenge that. They would literally just like put the headsets on for a millisecond and go, it's a good goal. Now you're on the penalty kill, send someone to the box for 2 minutes. So it essentially already worked. Like you got a free challenge out of that. So I guess that helps. Like you didn't have to take the chance of going to the box. It was funny. I thought that was an interesting part of the hockey game, like a little cat and mouse, because I wasn't expecting it to go directly to challenge, or rather directly to review. And I thought that would have been an interesting one that Jared Bednar would have had to have wrestled with. It was kind of like the end of the Broncos game where Sean Payton is kind of having to wrestle with, do I throw the football and give Andy Reid a chance to hang on to a timeout, or do I run the ball constantly and maybe we take a longer field goal look and Mahomes gets the ball back with like 20 seconds and 0 timeouts, but he's a witch, he can do it. There's some interesting coaching deals going on today around the Denver area.
Yeah, I mean, it's being reviewed by the league. Like, I've seen the Avs. I've seen Jared Bednar challenge after a review, but it was for something unrelated to what was being reviewed. So no, you don't do that. Last thing that we haven't talked about, the Victor Olofsson goal tipped in the slot is 6th of the year. Malinsky, yet another Sam Malinsky shot that gets through for either a rebound that's put in or that is tipped or redirected in. Sam Malinsky continues to do that. And Victor Olofsson showing another variety of his goal scoring ability. And also with defensemen, Devon Taves nearly had an empty net goal. Was looking for his first of the season, but it was gloved down by an Islanders defenseman. So Taves has yet to score this year still. Former Islander as well, Devon Taves. Man.
Yeah, that's when you look back, and I believe the decision for New York at that time, and I'm pretty certain Lou Lamoriello was the general manager of the Islanders
Had
back
to
when
be.
when that decision was made. It was between Devon Taves and was it Pellick? I think was the decision. They went, we're going to go with Pellick instead of you,
Ugh.
and it that looks horrible right now. Now imagine like what Patrick Waugh could have done with a decor of Schaefer and Romanov and Devon Taves, just those three dudes. And then like your 5'6" continues to be Scotty Mayfield, big and long and rangy. Throw Tony D'Angelo on there for a guy who's a puck mover. Like that decor looks really, really scary. I think it's a solid decor in New York. With Devon Taves, it would be very good and very deep. They made a horrible decision.
Yeah. Speaking of Mayfield,
who I did not and hold the Mayfield thing because I did want.
Well,
to
just
talk
real
about
quick,
that.
he laid a cross check on McKinnon late in this game, and McKinnon was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the when Mayfield was all pissed off at Gavin Brindley.
Sure.
Early in the game, Brindley and Mayfield got into it, which I think is hilarious because like Scotty Mayfield's a
he's big
tall dude, and Brindley's like my size. That was hilarious. But what was that? I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to get into?
You were going to bring something up right after Devon Taves. Was it Patrick Waugh related? Because I did want to get into Waugh being here tonight.
It has gone by the wayside.
Well,
I'll try and remember.
Yeah, sometimes give yourself a second. Patrick Waugh got a standing ovation when he was shown on the Jumbotron early in this game. And look, man, he's Patrick fucking Waugh. Like, even though the coaching ultimately he bailed on this team. And hey, shout out to what he's done with now having Matthew Schaefer helps.
Yes,
Now that's
does.
that added juice I talked about earlier in the show, but came into tonight at 10-6-2, riding a 4-game win streak to start their 7-game road trip. It's pretty fucking impressive, actually, what Patrick Waugh has done so far with this team this season and of late.
I think that Waugh's little hiatus from the league after just leaving Colorado high and dry did him a lot of good. He is reportedly a much more analytics focused coach than he was here in Colorado. He is not making overarching roster building and minor league decisions like he was in Colorado until Joe Sakic literally took the reins from his buddy's hands and went, no, I'm doing this. No more selecting Connor Bleakley in the first round. Who is no more Chris Begraz on my rosters. And I think it did him a lot of good. I think he's going to be a good coach in this league. I think the Islanders are on the up and up. I enjoy that roster. I enjoy how they play. For those fans that don't think that Waugh deserves a tribute, man, he's the greatest goaltender of all time, if not top 3 without a doubt. And regardless of him leaving Colorado in August, and that was a crappy thing to do. and it turns into a 48-point season.
It was also the best thing that ever happened in a way.
Without
Because
Patrick
Jared
Waugh,
Bednar's a great coach.
right? Without Patrick Waugh, you don't have Jared Bednar. Without Patrick Waugh, you don't have Cale Makar. And without Patrick Waugh, you know who you might not have? Nathan McKinnon. You always forget about this. Patrick Waugh was the one dude that came out and said, we are taking Nathan McKinnon first overall. Seth Jones, Colorado kid, was also in that draft. Big, tall, wonderful skating American defenseman. He ends up going number 4 to Nashville, right? And there were a lot of people, even in the building in Colorado, that wanted Seth Jones. And Patrick Waugh went, screw you, we're taking Nate. So thank your lucky stars for his tenure here.
Yeah, and real quick before we bring DMAC on, look, dude, he's Patrick fucking Waugh.
Right.
Unless he does something unforgivable, and what he did is not unforgivable. It's a business. There's emotions. Things happen.
Right.
You give that man a standing ovation when he walks into a Denny's. I don't care.
I love that. Let's go to DMAC live at Ball Arena.
Hey guys, a fun double dipperoo here in Colorado today, huh? And for the Avs, a 4-1 win. Olsen with the game winner and a nice empty netter by Natchez. And then I don't even know how Brock Nelson scored there at the end, but who cares? The Avs just keep on rolling. Gabe Landeskog said after the game that he likes it when it's physical. He likes when it gets a little rough and tumble. And the truth of the matter is there's not a style of hockey this team can't win. You want to play tough, okay. You want to open it up, yeah, all right. You know, you want to have a tight game, a high-scoring game. The identity of this team right now is kind of, well, everything. And that's what Jared Bednar said afterwards. He kept being asked about, like, individual players. And like, hey, I can talk about every single person if you want, but I like everything that's going on right now. And you see Gavin Brindley's time scooting up from 5-6 minutes to 14 tonight. And you realize this is a sick team. And there's no goaltending issue, by the way. The goaltender is Scott Wedgwood. And then you kind of go from there. And if something changes, I suppose it changes. But it's all first world problems here for the Avalanche. I guess officially, the Fate of Ophelia is officially their celebration song in the locker room afterwards. It's been 3 games in a row with Taylor Swift ripping through the stands, through the locker room. In the stands, by the way, it was fun because quite a few people did the double dipperoo, and mostly Broncos fans, but there were some Chiefs fans. And if there was a combo of Chiefs Islander fan, man, are you a loser tonight? So nice win over Patrick Waugh. By the way, a little video for Waugh. It was kind of more polite than anything. It was acknowledged politely. The applause was polite. People still love Patrick Waugh, but, you know, he's coaching the other team, so that's that. And now the Avs have a few days off before they get going again. And Jared Bednar said, yeah, that's well needed. That's been a tiring stretch for him, so they get a little break. So 4-1 win. No real drama. Come from behind win, technically, right? And the Avs just keep motoring on, and we keep playing Taylor Swift. Back to you guys.
DMAC live from Ball Arena. The Fate of Ophelia, the win song this year. You know what?
I haven't heard any of the new Taylor Swift. I'm sure you have.
I certainly have.
Okay. Is the Fate of Ophelia a good song?
I think the Fate of Ophelia is one of the 2 or 3 songs on the album that I'm like, hell yeah, I'll listen to that.
Okay, what's the vibe? Is it emotional or is it a banger? I heard that her new album doesn't have a lot of bangers, I actually like. She has a couple bangers that I like.
Yeah, it's not bangers like back in the day. Like, what was the album that she had? It was the cover was white and purple, and it was probably like 2010 is when this thing came out, is my guess, right around there. And she had a bunch of bangers on that one. It's not like that. It's like a little more like upbeat and like you would expect this to be played at happy hour at a bar on the coast in the OC.
Okay.
Like that, those are the vibes I'm looking for.
Okay. All right, I'll listen to it, and I'll report back on Thursday night, because apparently this
if there's
is
any Swifties out there that are
there's a handful
take,
watching or listening to this. Yeah, I think
I
Parker
would play
Kelly's.
it, but Taylor Swift probably has an army of lawyers that would come and kill us if I played it over these airwaves.
Oh yeah, no, the internet, you can't do it. Copyright lawsuits, all that. Yeah, I guess Parker Kelly is the guy responsible for this. Which, hey man, you score those sick goals you've scored. You're good on the PK. You're a good dude. Bring it. Bring it. Let's go.
Oh,
That's what we're doing. Let's do it.
the album that I'm thinking of is it's got the album's called Speak Now, and it's got The Story of Us, it's got Speak Now, it's got Better Than Revenge, it's got Back to Descent. It's got Mean on it. Those things are all bangers, dude.
Okay, I like that one song that's like "Let the Games Begin," and it's like "Are you ready for it?" And it's
yeah, that's when
this
she
bass
was
is like
going
boom,
edgy.
boom, boom. Like see, I need something that makes me feel alive.
That's when she was trying to answer to Miley swinging around naked on a wrecking ball.
Okay. Well, she answered.
She answered. The last thing I
Worlds
was
are
gonna
colliding. Travis Kelce's girlfriend is being played in the Avs locker room. The Broncos beat Travis Kelce. Our coworkers, the LA Rams, could be on a Super Bowl collision course with the Denver Broncos, who wore Rams jerseys, but also gave the Broncos Nordiques jerseys. Worlds are colliding.
They are. I can't keep track of any of this right now. Last thing before we get out of here, Spring. It's late. I didn't notice Cal Ritchie.
I noticed him once when he was just Mosher called his name and he made a little nothing play in the offensive zone. That was it.
He's young. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm just like, didn't notice.
Yeah,
him.
well, it kind of reminds me of, hasn't really taken a step since we saw him with the Avs. He's still young though. And Gavin and we talked about it. That turned into Brock Nelson. And yeah. Brock's playing good. Past few weeks, Brock's been good. Good Brock.
Avs, again, they extend their point streak to 10 games now. Through 19 games, they are 13-1-5, 31 points, paces the entire NHL. They are 4 points clear of the Dallas Stars, sitting in second place in that Central Division, a full 9 points up on Winnipeg in the 3 seed in the Central. So even though Dallas keeps winning, you are separating yourselves from the rest of the best, not only in the Central, but in the Western Conference as well.
One more thought, and someone in the chat threw this name out there, then DMAC came on and I forgot. Speaking of, you asked me if I noticed Cal Ritchie. Did you notice Jonathan Drouin out there tonight?
I noticed Jonathan Drouin a lot tonight.
He was a -1 with 2 shots on goal.
I thought Drouin, I think you can make the argument Drouin was the best forward on the ice for New York tonight.
Okay. I liked me some Kyle Palmieri tonight. I thought he was.
Sorry, you're 100% right. Kyle Palmieri was the most dangerous.
I thought Barzell actually
Drouin
had
was
some
close.
moments. Man, Matt Barzell, there a few years ago, I thought he was going to be something, and he's just kind of been. He's good, don't get me wrong, but hasn't really lived up. Drouin, $4 million per. So $8 million over 2 years for AAV. And I feel like Brindley's kind of their new Drouin for a fourth of the price.
What does Drouin have this year in terms of points?
I mean, they've been playing well. Let's see what Drouin, though, himself is doing. 3 goals, 11 assists.
That's
good.
For Drouin's pretty solid. So he's got 14 points in 18 games. That's more than a $4 million player in terms of pace right now. Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah, they won 4 straight coming into tonight at the Islanders. Yeah, all good wins too.
Plucky team in an Eastern Conference where anything could happen. If the Islanders made the playoffs, I get it. Totally get it. All right, Avs host the New York Rangers coming up on Thursday. A few days off. Spring and I will be back at 10 p.m. on Thursday evening as we welcome in Week 12 of the NFL season. Don't miss anything tomorrow. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or rather 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. You and Berto will be on.
To 6:30. Nuggets Bulls pregame at 6:30.
Okay, 6 to 6:30 tomorrow. You guys will have reaction to the Broncos' big-time win. That's the biggest win since 2015 here in Denver. Reaction all day to the Broncos beating the Chiefs at home, stranglehold on the AFC West. You get some Avs talk in there as they extend their point streak to 10 games and continue to pace as the best hockey team in the world. But that'll do it for us tonight. For Spring, I'm Raj. Thank you guys so much for hanging out late on your Sunday evening. Have a great start to your week, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.